Okay guys, we're going to be doing some catching today. So when we're doing our catching, we want to make it as easy as we possibly can for ourselves. The first thing that we need to do is make sure that, like in every sport that involves a ball, we've got our target, and that's going to be our hands. So we need to make sure that our hands are in the right position. When we're catching a ball, that means that we need our hands together. If we have them apart, the ball has got the opportunity to go straight through and we're going to drop it. So we need to make sure that our hands are together. That means that our little fingers are overlapped and that our fingers are pointing outwards. They're not pointing up to the sky, they're not pointing to the ground, they're pointing outwards. So that our ball is going to be able to land in the basket that we've just created. Okay? So, little fingers overlapping, fingers pointing outwards, creating a nice basket for the ball to come down and land in. The second most important thing is our eyes. We of course need to make sure that our eyes are looking at the ball, just like with everything else we've been doing. So we need to make sure that as the ball is coming down towards us, or coming towards us, we're looking at the ball and watching the ball come into our basket. If we do those two things perfectly, then we've got a pretty good chance of catching the ball. So, our first task is going to be just to throw the ball just above our head and watch it come down into our hands. I don't want to see the ball going too high to begin with. We're just focusing on getting a good technique before we move on to a few more trickier drills. Once we've got that one nailed, we can go a little bit higher, and we can even start to walk around with the ball, moving around our area, keeping our eyes on the ball and our basket out in front of us. If you're dropping the ball, don't worry, just keep going. You're going to keep making sure that you're watching the ball and that you've got your hands in the right position. Okay? You don't need to move on until you can start doing this more consistently. Once you've done that, you can move on to a couple more drills. The first one that I'm going to show you is throwing the ball against the wall. Once you've done that, you can throw the ball with your partner, and you can make that even trickier by moving further and further away from each other. So first of all, let's go and see me throwing the ball against the wall. Okay, so the second thing that we can move on to when we're catching is throwing the ball against a wall. We still need to make sure that our hands are in the right place, that we've made a nice basket, and that we're watching the ball into our hands. I don't want you to stand too far away, maximum 2 meters. We're going to start with throwing the ball at about waist to chest high. Watch the ball into your hands. Once you've done that, you can throw the ball a bit higher. Keep watching the ball. And you can go even lower. I find that these ones are the trickiest. You can make a challenge for yourself, see how many you can catch in 1 minute. If you drop one, don't worry, you don't need to go back to zero, just keep going from where you left off. Once you've done throwing against the ball, you can move on and start catching with your partner. Have fun.